when you start driving around and noticing them, you'll see a lot of that size building that you're like, it doesn't look like it's the cleanest. It looks like something else could be done there. That's really what we're looking for.
What's the number one secret to converting office to industrial flex?
I think looking for ways that you can take the skill sets you have and apply them to what the current market conditions are. I started 15 years ago buying defunct multifamily that was in super bad shape. No one wanted it. And it was really a struggle to figure out what you're going to do with it. And that same kind of environment right now is bleeding into some of these older office assets that they need a lot of extra love, and you got to find some creative way to use the space. It's there. A lot of it can be had at a good deal. So we're taking really our playbook from 15 years ago on buying kind of terrible multifamily or assets that have been long-term neglected. And we're doing the same thing with office right now and finding what's the best use for that space. And for us, it seems to be industrial flex, at least in the Southeast, is where we're seeing the biggest demand.
Excellent. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's kind of being creative and figuring out ways to take something that perhaps was a little more obsolete and making it to an investment and more, adding value to the community and whatnot. And so this is really interesting, right? Because the office space is dying in a lot of spaces. So I mean, talk about the opportunity and what you're seeing, and maybe give us kind of a live example to this, Dave.
Typical deal that we're seeing is, call it 20, 30,000 square feet of a single story building outside of a downtown area. And there hasn't been a lot of demand for it. There hasn't been a lot of use for it. There's a lot of old cubicles in it. And it's a space that can really be converted to kind of any vision you would have for it. So when you start driving around and noticing them, you'll see a lot of that size building that you're like, it doesn't look like it's the cleanest. It looks like something else could be done there. That's really what we're looking for.
Excellent. And so, 20 to 30,000 square feet outside of a downtown area. It's sleepy and tired, and you guys are coming in and saying, okay, what can we do it? So what does it look like, step by step? You find the opportunity, you find the location, and what are you doing to, increase the value and change it into industrial flex?
Yeah. Any initial investment you're looking at making, we have our areas that we operate in. We don't really deviate from them. We're not really trying to go find new markets. We're predominantly buying stuff Atlanta to Charlotte. We're comfortable there. So, making sure, one, you're comfortable in the area you want to invest in, I think is key start. And then once we have a property or once we identify one, we're really using a lot of our skill sets that we honed over the years in multifamily, which is a lot of construction, a lot of demolition. We're able to take a single story building and really just gut the inside of it, take out all the old offices, remove everything that's in there, and get it. So what we call a white box scenario, where you have elevated ceilings, you have large clear spaces, you have, no kind of like divided up minor walls. That really gives someone that's coming in an opportunity, especially in the industrial, the flex, or the warehouse type users, to come in and use that space however they seem, best for their operation.
And are they typically a single tenant or multi-tenant? And I mean, I guess it depends on the deal itself, but who is the ideal tenant or tenants that you're finding to put into these spaces?
A lot of these spaces are divided into smaller floor plans. So like 4,000 to 5,000 square feet. You got, smaller suites and places that go in there. Atlanta has a lot of film stuff happening lately. And so there's shops that'll specialize in just like audio equipment, and they'll rent a suite. And then we have everything from small operators that are doing HVAC companies and that kind of stuff, electricians. So a lot of like service providers that have to have a home base are based out of there, or small distribution companies.
Excellent. And then as far as like potential returns, because industrial has been, white hot for a while now, and it doesn't seem to be slowing down. What are you seeing in that space and those trends, and how is interest rates, being that they've increased so much, affecting opportunities to value add, hands-on, development costs?
Well, interest rates impacting, construction loans in a big way. It's a lot harder to even get a construction loan right now. So it's definitely equity heavy on the front end, doing anything that's a turnaround value add position. But kind of, you're taking one asset class that has a lot of headwinds, being office, and moving it to an asset class that has a lot of tailwinds, being industrial. So we're really looking at a variance in the price per square foot, at what an industrial is trading at or what an office is trading at. And we're able to have a pretty good spread there where, if you can get defunct office space in that, even call it like $60 to $90 a square foot, and flex is worth 100 to 130 a square foot, you have a good spread that you're looking to do. And as long as you can find a way to reasonably turn things in a pretty narrow timeline, you don't want to take 2 years to go do something.